Can you please sit down? Can you show me, everyone, how you can sit? Sit. 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 Look at that. He's a genius. If anyone's watching this, that means that somehow I've made it into the studio and I'm doing a second record for Dethklok. Basically, when the show was pitched, I said, hey, this is kind of a cool thing to kind of have a show that revolves around a band. And if there is music in every single episode, I can kind of collect all that music and put it all on a record, elongate it, make sure it's like the actual length of a song, and kind of make it be its own world and live outside of the TV show. And, you know, have a connection, but also be able to be a separate point. So if for some reason the show were to ever go away, I could kind of keep this entity alive. It's a lot cheaper to make a record than it is to make a TV show. One of the coolest things I think about the live shows, you get to see how you get the metal audience, and then you also get this whole new audience of people who are very curious about metal and just know the show. It's really fun to see the audience know the words to the songs and to take it for what it's worth. Take it as fake seriously as you want to, or get excited about it, or you can point and laugh. It doesn't matter. It's just like a Disneyland ride, but with murder, and that's what the live show should be. If I had it to do over again, I wouldn't make Skwisgaar Skwigelf the fastest guitarist alive. I'd make him the slowest, most tasteful, sloppy guitar. Like, you know, with a little bit of edge to it. That's a little bit easier to do, but the fast stuff is like, oh boy, here we go. Why did I do that? Yeah, I've written some stuff that just doesn't sound Dethklok enough, and I try to find out if I can make it heavier. And then sometimes you put that grumbly voice on top of stuff and double kicks, and it all sounds like Dethklok anyway. I think it's easier to do that than it is to sing high notes. So I think your voice is actually relaxed more in the lower register than it is in the higher register. So, and I'm not singing that loud. That's the other thing. Thank you. Oh, sorry, my dog took the lav mic off. This is what he hates lav mics. This dog. This dog is almost 6 years old, and he prances around like a puppy who just like where am I? How's this gonna work out? You're 6 years old. This is how a 1-year-old behaves. And what I do sometimes is I'll just have a whole bunch of music. I'm like, here's a riff. Let's repeat that for 8 times, and I'll go to something else, and then go to something else. And I guess at this point I'll figure out what I'm going to do on top of this later, because that's usually what really makes the song. You have to have a solid track and all that stuff that makes sense in its own logic, but all the personality really comes through once you start layering and overdubbing, you know, lead guitars. And I like to harmonize a lot of guitars, and I like to put on a lot of keyboard tracks that you know, they're kind of there. They're kind of more textural. You can't really hear them sometimes, but they definitely make the track bigger. And that's been the fun thing, is doing this whole thing, is just learning about kind of recording a lot more, learning about how a studio actually works. But to be honest, the whole reason I do this show is for that guy right there. To buy him dog food. Yeah, to make him happy, and he is such a spoiled animal, and I really should have thought twice before getting him, even though I do love him, kind of.